for him to fight another fighter. They've since removed that, and now it looks like they paved the way, or at least cleared the runway for the undisputed matchup between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. What do you think if those two were to get together?
Man, that's really interesting. That's a really interesting match. I don't really know what's gonna happen, and that's really what you want out of boxing. You want these fights to be made to a point where as though like you're at the edge of your seat and you don't know what's gonna happen. I would love to see these fights that are made that are so unpredictable and have a whole lot of drama and action. You have Usyk, right? He's a much smaller fighter, you know what I mean, as far as like weight and even like the way he carries himself. But when you have those dramatic extremes, sometimes it makes for a very interesting setup. Because Tyson Fury isn't faster than Usyk. Not in his feet, not in his hands, not in his head movement. So then now you have somebody that can rival his speed, his reflexes. He's going to have to be very, very creative to get off and pull off big shots against somebody like Usyk that will be twisting and turning him around and catching him. And not to mention, Usyk has a little bit of power as well. And it's going to be very interesting how Tyson can, like, make an adjustment. Because if he doesn't make an adjustment to that smaller, faster fighter that has a little bit of pop, it's going to be a long night for Tyson Fury, I think.
Those are the words of Blair the Flair Cobbs. Woo! But he did give an interesting breakdown on Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk, and he's not the only one, but he is in the line of people like myself believe that Oleksandr Usyk will give Tyson Fury problems. Even Ben Davison, as of last week, said the same thing. It's going to be a long night for Tyson Fury, meaning it's going to be a very difficult night, and there won't be a knockout as the result. Okay? And that's to say the least, because a long night may mean, look, a whole lot of problems, a night of problems, a night of confusion, a night of adversity, right? And the crazy thing about it, like Blair the Flair, he's very outspoken. He got beat by Russia, right? But he came back and redeemed himself. So, I think if anything, him being charismatic, he could be able to break down certain fighters, because that was a good breakdown, and I am impressed. And this was sent to me. Shout out to Michael that sent it to me. And I do agree with him. I think that's the reason why Tyson Fury now is very thin. He's getting trim because he knows. He's not an idiot. He knows that Oleksandr Usyk, like he said, he's going to run around, right? He's going to run around. He calls him the rabbit. So how do you have to be, and where physically do you have to be to chase a rabbit, right? You're going to have to be mobile. You're going to have to be slim. You can't be heavy like 270, 280 like you were with Wilder or whatever. You have to be about 250, 256, 257. I think that's where Fury is going to land if the fight takes place, right? Let's hope it takes place. But I do think about what he mentioned with the footwork, and I think the footwork will be one of the major things in this fight, the footwork. Yes, the head movement, but the footwork most importantly, because it's going to be where Oleksandr is versus where Tyson Fury isn't. And if he is able to turn Tyson and give angles and make it difficult for Tyson, I am just intrigued to see what the adjustment's going to be. Okay, because I do believe that Tyson Fury will make an adjustment. He will make an adjustment and he will be able to attack. And I see Tyson Fury, I see him getting angry in that fight. But, I'm getting too ahead of myself because the fight hasn't even been made yet. And I'm giving you a part of the prediction. But Blair Cobbs, though, is absolutely right. I think he's going to have problems with Tyson Fury. I mean, He's going to have problems with Tyson Fury's going to have problems with Oleksandr Usyk, and Tyson Fury could give him problems. But I think he hasn't been in there with anyone that I could see. But, besides Steve Cunningham, and Steve Cunningham gave him some problems. But, Tyson Fury was starting to whack and to punch and to land on Steve Cunningham. Okay? Now, that's a fact. He was starting to really get to him. He was catching him with 1-2s and proper combinations, that made that fight look, more this way after the knockdown. Because remember, Steve Cunningham was able to catch him with a wide, winding left overhand, putting Tyson Fury down on his back. Now, Tyson Fury got up, but he was caught, and he did not see that punch. Now, the question is, will Oleksandr Usyk be able to do the same thing Steve Cunningham did? And I don't mean knock him down. I mean catch him with shots that he doesn't see. That's the question. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Blair the Flair Cobbs stating that Tyson Fury may have a very long night with Oleksandr Usyk. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!